and welcome everyone here from the community to this SAP community call, Exceptional and Effortless Customer Experience Enabled through Next Generation Support. And my name is Katharina Nonhebel. I am in the community as an influencers team, and I'm happy to be the host today of this interesting topic, and having here this wonderful guest, Mohamed Ajouz, who is Senior Vice President and the Global Head of Product Support here at SAP. Before we start, warm welcome, and you can use the chat functionality here. You are all on mute. Later, when we are going to open the Q&A, please then raise your hand and we can unmute you, or if there are a lot of hands that are raised, I can also unmute everyone. But meanwhile, feel free to ask your questions and write your comments into the chat. And we have here people like Barbara and maybe also I, who are able then to answer questions. So for me, only about community questions. But before we start, I would like everybody to type in your community profile into the chat so that we can connect with each other after that call. So like I'm doing that, that would be great if you would do that. Okay, Mohamed, welcome to, I think it's your first community call, right? In that format?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
But don't panic, guys. It's not the first time I'm presenting, but it's the first time I'm presenting to the community.
To the community. So that is great. And now let us know what are you going to present, and introduce yourself and have fun with the community people.
Thank you, Katrina, for this great introduction. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our webinar. Hope everybody's doing well and is safe and healthy, given the current times we're living in. And as you can see, even our graphics are updated to reflect the pandemic, and everybody in the picture is wearing a mask. So what I'm going to be talking about today is the transformation that product support has gone through in SAP. And click. Give me a second here. Yes. So I'll start by talking about the industry, how the industry has changed, how we are adapting to the change of the industry. I'm going to talk about two of our kind of most recent innovations that have been released to our customers. One is the support assistant, and the second is product support accreditation. And then I'll conclude with kind of a directional statement. So given everything that we've done over the past few years, where do we go from here? And we'll have plenty of time for questions and answers. Okay. Current state of the support industry. I started my career about 30 years ago. And back then, most customers had one mission critical application. I mean, I started my career during the time that online transaction processing was kind of the in thing. Everybody was used to end of day batch processing. So the customers we dealt with, as I said, used to have one mission critical application, maybe two. Well, the world has changed since then. Today, everything is mission critical. Everything is real time. Customers are expecting shorter time to value. What am I getting out of my investment in product support? How soon can I start seeing the return on my investment? So that's one. Two is the desire for increased efficiency. I mean, we're all measured on productivity. We're all producing something. In support, we produce solutions to our customers. We produce content in the form of knowledge-based article. And whatever industry you're in, there is something that you're producing. And there's this constant desire with the help of automation to produce more, to increase efficiency. And then there's the generational gap. Today, in a company like SAP, 100,000 people, we have five generations of people. And, it goes from the millennials to Gen X, Gen Z, to the senior citizens that I'm part of. And and it's the same with our customers. How do you cater to these different generations? And finally, we have all these new exciting technologies that you see at the bottom. How do we leverage them to deliver on our promise, for exceptional service for our customers? So looking at all that is when we kicked in our next generation support transformation. So traditional SAP support, industry leading, proactive, preventative across all deployment, but customers wanted more based on the previous slide that I just showed you. So we bucketized our transformation in 4 different buckets. First is we want to continue investing in self-service and incident prevention. Every support organization in the market today has invested heavily and continues to invest heavily. So this is traditionally the knowledge-based articles. Now we're working on multimedia knowledge-based article. We're working on better search engines, elastic search engines. So we will continue to always invest in that space. Second, because of the different generations that I talked about, the new generation is not used to, hey, let me create an incident and wait 1 or 2 days before somebody gets back to me. Everything is real time for them. They're on their smartphones. They want instant gratification. And that's why we introduced the concept of real-time interactions. Yes, customers can still log incidents the traditional way, but we want to give customers also the ability to interact with us in a real-time manner. Digital support experience, that's the 3rd bucket that we're focusing on. Historically, all support organizations in the market, when a customer has a problem, we ask them in the product, we ask them to leave the product, come to the support portal, and then log a ticket. And then within the support portal, they can search, they can start a chat, they can create a ticket. What if we brought that customer support portal into the product? So rather than ask the customer to leave the product and go to support, what if we bring support into the product? And there are very few players in that space today. You hear about it such as embedded support, built-in support. So from within the product, if you have a problem, there's a help button that you click on, and it allows you to search our knowledge repository. It allows you to create an incident. It allows you to chat with our engineers. Today, we have it with S/4HANA Cloud customers, and the intention is to promote it to other products, obviously. And finally is, how do we leverage all the new technologies we saw on the previous slide to really develop an industry-leading service to our customers? So if you use support today, you might have encountered what we call the incident solution matching. It's a machine learning engine that learns from customers, learns from the incidents that are being logged, and promotes and suggests solutions to the customers. And there's quite a few other examples I will walk you through. The most prominent one is the support assistant. So that's kind of the transformation that we have embarked on. And the second bucket I talked about is the real-time interaction. We have a webinar a week or 10 days from, a week from today, where we're going to talk specifically about that topic. So please do join us, at that webinar to learn more about it. Okay, support assistant, something that we've released late last year. And I can spend a lot of time talking about it and telling you what it does, but it's always better to show it. So what the support assistant is a guided workflow. It's a decision tree that customers go through. And it's not a static tree. There's a lot of support organizations on the market that give you these decision tree. As you will see, this is an interactive, smart decision tree that guides you in creating a better incident. Of course, the more information you give us about the incident, the more focused the solutions and the recommendations will be. And the idea is that comes a point in time where we can match your problem with a solution. But if we cannot, then an incident is created. And the beauty of this is that you'll have a perfectly documented incident. All the interactions, all the questions we've asked you in that workflow, all the answers you've given us are captured in the incident. And what we have now is a perfectly documented incident available to the support engineer to start immediately working on it. But it doesn't stop there. As you create the incident, we're going to ask you for certain files to be attached. And as these files are attached, there's a parser that runs in the background, analyzes those log files or trace files, and again, recommends solutions. I mean, this is all before a human even touches your incident. I mean, that's the power of Support Assistant. It's using the latest and greatest bleeding edge technologies, machine learning, artificial intelligence, to truly provide you with a solution without you having to log an incident. You know, I worked in support all my life. I work with support organization, you know, personally. You know, I use Apple support, I use Microsoft support, I use Adobe support, and there's nothing I hate more than having to create an incident. If I can't find my solution by myself, that is a great win for me personally. And I'm sure the same applies to you as our customers. You would rather find your own solution than have to create an incident and work with us. I know this sounds weird coming from the head of product support, but as I said, I've been in this industry for a long time, and I am a support customer, you know, with other companies, and I do understand the pain of having to go through the traditional, old-fashioned incident route. So without further ado, let me walk you through a demo. Hopefully this looks familiar to you. You come in, you define your system, and you choose a product area. So in this case, you identified your system. For the sake of this example, we picked S/4HANA Cloud, and then bang, this window opens up. Do you want help solving your issue faster? Now, hopefully, you will click yes, but we're not forcing you to go down that route. If you prefer to stick with the traditional way of logging the incident, that's perfectly okay. Just click cancel. But hopefully, you will leverage these new technologies that we've built. So click start, and then here's your first interaction. So the interaction I'm going to take you through is for a business object ticket or problem. Hi, I'm your support assistant. I can guide you to find the right solution. Which business intelligence product are you using? I'm going to choose the BI platform. So again, if I go back, the choices are provided to you here at the bottom. Okay, so I choose the BI platform, and then the support assistant asks you, what issue do you have with the BI platform? Well, I'm trying to do an installation and update. So again, the assistant asks you, what type of install are you performing? Is it a new install? Is it updating and patching? So I'm updating and patching. So what kind of install are you doing? Is it standalone or is it expanded? Okay, I'm going to choose standalone. Is the issue before, during, or after the installation? So it's taking here a long time for me to explain it, but it is pretty straightforward. It's during the install. So we ask you detail the current and target BI environment. So we provide a little bit more environment. It's BI version 4.2. We submit it. Provide a short description. Again, we provide a short description. We submit it. Now, I want you to pay attention to something. As I'm going through this, I don't know if you saw it, but take a look on the right side. So this is our incident solution matching. This is the machine learning engine that's reading the content you're providing us and trying to match it with solutions. So the more information you provide, the more refined the search is on the right-hand side. Do you see that? Okay. So let me go back to where we were. Provide a short descriptive title for your issue. Well, the update is failing during update of our system. Some more information that we're asking, and we're constantly refining the search on the right-hand side. So when I'm updating my BI system, the update fails halfway through. I get this error. Good. So we've provided as much information as we can on the right-hand side. And the customer, has clicked on some, has gone through some of them, and has not found their solution. So of course, we're not going to tell them, hey, good luck, bye-bye. We captured everything so far. We could not match the problem with the solution, so we go continue. So as I said before, everything you've told us, everything we've heard from you has been captured and kept in the incident. So we don't have to rewrite or retype anything. Okay? So going from here, you go next. And before you submit the incident, that's the other part of the support assistant. So we took you through the guided workflow. We've provided as much solutions as we can. We've refined the solutions based on your input. We couldn't match it. Now it's time to create the incident. Last step that comes in is based on the product you've chosen, based on the problem you've described, these are the most frequently asked for files that a support engineer typically asks for. And the idea behind it is to create the perfectly documented incident, but also to reduce resolution time so we can start working on the problem immediately. So we ask you, please review the attached files and ensure that they are attached to the ticket. And you can click on any of those to get a little bit more information. So it gives you a description of what this file is, and it gives you the default location, whether you're using Windows or Unix. It tells you where to find these files. I mean, this is how much prescriptive the solution is. So, all right, so you click here on the plus button to attach the files. Let's presume they are all in the same directory. You select them, you say open, and these are the files that have been attached to the ticket. Now you click on Analyze Files, and an engine will kick in the background. A parser engine will scan all these files and will try to look for problems or alerts or warnings, okay? No support engineer has been engaged yet. And it has identified a problem. It gives you a description of the problem. It gives you the KPIs that might eventually solve this problem, okay? And it's a very professional looking document. I mean, it's a PDF file that gets generated. It tells you all the warning alerts that it has identified with the recommended solution, okay? And then if you find your solution, you can cancel. If not, you can submit your ticket. But at this point in time, we've captured as much information as we can. We've provided you with as many focused solutions as we can. We've analyzed your log files. We've identified problem. And all this, as I said, either you have your solution and you can go on happy with your business, or you can log the incident with us. But the support engineer, I mean, imagine the difference right now. The support engineer has all this information, has the log files, has the trace file, has the analysis. They can immediately go into resolution mode. Because typically, if you look at the life cycle of any ticket with any support organization, there's a day or two that is, of course, based on the priority, but 20 to 30% of the incident life cycle is back and forth communication initially to get a better understanding of the problem, to get a better understanding of the environment, a better understanding of what was going on when that problem occurred. Requests for log files, requests for trace files. No, that's the wrong file. Can you send me the other file? This is all collapsed and condensed into a 2-3 minute session. That's the beauty of this technology. And this is not vaporware. I'm not announcing something that we're going to have 6 months from today. This is something that is a reality, and it exists for all these products. So hopefully, either you have already used it or we'll give it a chance next time you log a ticket with us. And there's more information on the SAP community about this. We're providing you the link. It's a short blog that goes into a little bit more detail than I did in a 3-minute demo on what is the power of the support assistant and how best to use it. Okay, so before I go into the next topic, now I'd like to pause here for a minute or two to see if you have any questions. I mean, you are muted, so please wave or raise your hand through Zoom, and the moderator, Barb or Katerina, will unmute you to ask your question. So let's wait 30 seconds or so to see if you have any questions. Or if you'd rather wait till the end of the session, that's perfectly okay as well. Okay.
At this point, It looks like no one has a question.
All right. Thank you, Katrina. All right, let's move on to the next topic, product support accreditation. So if you recall when I talked about how the industry is changing, one of the asks or one of the expectations of our customers is shorter time to value. What does that mean? I made an investment in a product, in a service. In this case, I made an investment in support. I want to start seeing the value immediately. I don't want to wait 6 months, 12 months before I start seeing my return on investment. I want my people, that's the next bucket or the next area that defines the new industry is shorter time to value and then increased efficiency. How can I make my users, how can I make my employees more efficient with product support? So putting all these two things together is the concept of the product support accreditation. What it is a self-paced, self-enabled training that customers can take. And we combined, I think it's less than 2 hours, but it walks you through all the functions and features of SAP product support. What are the services available to me? What are the capabilities that I have as a customer? What are the innovations that SAP is delivering to me? What are the different interaction channels that SAP has available to me? People think that all we do is tickets. Well, yeah, we have tickets, of course, the traditional way. We have the real-time channels. We have the communities. I mean, we have so many ways that you can interact with SAP that surprisingly, very few customers know. We guide you, or the training guides you on how to create a perfectly documented incident, on how to understand the priorities, how to describe a business case, how to use built-in support. I mean, I can go on and on and on. But the idea behind it is that you take this training or you take this accreditation and you'll feel much more comfortable, much more efficient, and much more effective in working with SAP support. So again, there's plenty of descriptions here. Let me walk you through what it looks like. You can access it from, our support portal, obviously. And the way it's divided is 3 modules. Self-service and incident prevention. We talk about the search engine, KBAs, how to find your solutions. We talk about the different interaction channels, and we talk about the digital support experience, where we introduce things like support assistant, support log assistant, etc. And at the end of this, I mean, we wanted to introduce the concept of gamification. Like, all right, I'm going to take the training. What am I going to get out of it? We go through very simple. It's not tricky. It's not the SATs here. You go through an assessment and kind of get accredited for SAP product support. We try to keep the content as much up to date as possible. We encourage you to go through any additional modules that we introduce to the accreditation program. Like if we introduce a new service 3 months down the line, we'll make sure that this is reflected in the accreditation program. Sorry, wrong one. Oh, here, how to get started. As I said, it's available on the Welcome Center and the SAP support portal here at the bottom. As you can see, it's circled in red. Or it's available through my support on the SAP support portal. Again, it's it's the red circle here that you see at the bottom. The support accreditation is free. That's something I should have mentioned at the very beginning. So it's available to all our registered S users. We have companies that have taken this program, or we have users from certain companies that have taken this program and went back to their company, and the company now is mandating that every employee that works with SAP support goes through this accreditation, because they were quick in realizing how valuable the service or this accreditation is to their employees. So I talked about the different modules: self-service, real-time interaction, digital support experience, and the assessment. This is exactly what it looks like. These are the topics under each and every module. Again, I'm not going to go through that, but as you can see, it's very exhaustive and very thorough. Every single thing that you might need in working with SAP product support is covered in this accreditation. And as I said, we're trying to use gamification here. You get a badge saying you're officially product support accredited, and you get a digital badge that you could use pretty much anywhere you want to. So this is provided to you by SAP Product Support. I think you can use it in communities. You could use it. I'm not sure where customers are using it, to be honest with you, but it's a digital badge that you could display with pride whenever and wherever you want. So again, we're very excited about this. So far, we've launched it in February of this year. And in March of this year, the world turned upside down, as you all know. But nevertheless, we're close. Actually, we're more than 1,000 accredited customers to date. With little effort, with the crisis going on, I mean, the pandemic, we've been able to accredit more than 1,000 customers to date. Of course, I'm not counting the internal people at SAP who get accredited. I'm just talking about the external customers. So you can subscribe to any notification, any updates to the program. Again, I highly encourage you to take this accreditation. It's fun for first, but also it's very useful, and it will help with a shorter time to value, and it will help in making you and your colleagues much more efficient and much more effective in working with SAP support. All right, just like the previous topic of support accreditation, of support assistant, we have a blog on the community that you could go through and gives you a little bit more information on the support accreditation and obviously guides you to the right places to take this accreditation program. Where do we go from here?
And Mohammed,
oh, sorry, I should have paused for questions. You're absolutely right. I get excited here.
I feel that. There's one question from Magnusson. Any work on SAP support related to utilization of AI to prevent escalations and customers dissatisfaction?
Yes, there is. We're working on this. It's nothing that is available today. We're using this actually internally, is to use the power of machine learning to be able to predict when an escalation is going to happen. So certain teams are already doing this, like the mission critical support organization that deals with highly escalated customers. We're using machine learning to truly assess whether the incident that the customer is creating with us is a P1 or a SEV1, depending which company you work for, whether it's a true P1, SEV1, and then trigger all the P1 processes that come out of it. In support, we're working on, again, machine learning to see whether we could predict escalations based on either some factual data, like time it has been unattended, time since last update, etc., etc. So yes, we have a lot of work going on in leveraging artificial intelligence and machine learning to predict and eventually prevent escalations from happening.
Okay, thank you. There's in the chat the question that you should please share the link for the training. Maybe Barbara, maybe you can type it into the chat. Perfect. And I think that's it for now.
All right, let's move on. Where do we go from here? So we've been on a massive transformation for the past many years here at SAP, and the work doesn't stop. The industry is changing, customer expectations are changing, more and more bleeding edge technologies are being introduced to the market. Where do we go from here is the question that we always ask ourselves, because we want to be ahead of our customers. When customers' expectations change due to certain elements or due to certain external factors, we want to be there. We don't want to play catch up. We want to be ahead of the game. So this is where predictive and preventative support comes in. So anybody who has been in product support knows kind of the history. We started in the 80s with reactive. You have a problem, you create an incident, and then the cycle takes, it takes its own life cycle of getting through a resolution. Then companies started introducing communities. So it's not a one-to-one interaction between the customer and the vendor, but it's a one-to-many. So it's one problem, but the vendor can get involved, but also other customers. So that's the one-to-many type of relationship. Then companies started introducing real-time channels like chat, etc. And then they introduced self-service. Every company that I know of has invested heavily in creating a very rich knowledge base and creating very powerful search engines. And then we introduced the concept of automation. I mean, how can we automate some of the mundane, repetitive tasks? The support assistant that I showed you, the second part of it, where the most repetitive task that a support engineer does is to ask for log files, to ask for trace files, and to analyze them manually. Well, we automated this and we reduced the time to resolution a lot. But what is what is common about the first 5 bubbles? What is the common theme here? The common theme is the customer has faced a problem. The customer had the business interruption, and then the customer came to us. You see, these first 5 bubbles are always triggered by the customer having a problem. And we want to get ahead of this. I mean, this is really the next big thing in the support industry. How can we predict problems, and how can we prevent them from happening? Okay? And if you look at these 6 bubbles now, as you go up in this way, customers see more and more value in the service. And as you go down the other way, they see more and more effort. Now, this is a little bit of math, bear with me. Analysis and studies have shown time and time again that the more effort you put in a solution, in finding a solution, the more effort you put in finding a solution, the less value you're going to see in it. So the incident, the traditional way of logging a ticket, customers see it as the most effort and the least value. So by that time, the customer is already angry when they come into support because they put a lot of effort and they see no value in it. And we want to reverse this. We want to reduce the amount of effort so that customers see maximum value. And the only way we're going to do this is to predict problems and prevent them from happening. The best ticket that a customer can log with a support organization is no ticket. The best ticket is no ticket. So what are we trying to do here? What does it mean, predictive, preventative? We want to learn from the past to predict the future and transform the experience into one where support prevents an issue from becoming a problem. 2 customers have logged the same problem on one day. Being predictive, being preventative is like you go, oh, let me see what other customers have the exact same configuration, have the exact same version, have the exact same setup, and let them know that they might run into this problem, but before they run into it, this is the solution. This is what we're trying to do. To kind of put it a little bit in more graphical sense here is, of course, you need to have massive amount of data. You have to have access to customer profiles. You have to have access to all the history of the tickets that have been logged with the organization. You have to have access to the community threads. You have to have access to KBAs. I mean, I can go on and on and on. But obviously, the more data we have access to, the more successful we're going to be. And then this is where artificial intelligence and machine learning comes in. All these engines are constantly looking at this data and trying to figure out, are there any patterns? Are there any trends? Are there any emergencies that we need to alert our customers from? So the trend analysis engine picks up on those trends, picks up on those patterns, and then alerts the customers. Now, obviously, if it's non-critical, then we alert the customer through our notification platform, be it a text message to your iPhone, be it an alert to your support portal homepage, like news and alerts. Of course, it'll be the customer preference how to be notified, but it is like really, really urgent. We'd rather have a support engineer or a support manager notify the customer. So this is where we're spending a lot of time, a lot of efforts, and a lot of money here at SAP, is to build those trend analysis engine. We want to be able to identify if we have an outbreak. If 2 or 3 customers or 10 customers have logged the same incident on the same day, do we have a major problem that we need to notify all customers about it? Do we have an outbreak? And this typically happens with new releases. As you all know, when we release a new version, whether on-prem or on cloud, there's always the spike right after release, then kind of it settles down. So again, do we need to notify development that customers are running into this problem? We need to get the fix immediately in before other customers run into it. So the beauty of this model, if done correctly, and this is going to take years for the industry to mature in that space, but we want to be one of the pioneers in that space, is that we're going to move, if I go back to this slide, we want to move from maximum effort, minimal value to minimal effort, because there's really minimal. I mean, it's even no effort because the customer hasn't run into the problem. And when you tell the customer, yes, you're paying your support contract, once a year, but don't look at how many tickets you created with us. You should start looking at how many tickets you avoided with us. And this is when the customer will say, that's exactly the value I expect out of my support contract. All right. So this is where I pause. Call to action. Learn more about the support assistant. Learn more about the accreditation. Take that to your companies. Take that to your peers and colleagues. Help us to promote the benefits and the values that these bring to our customers. And attend next week's SAP community call, which is about real-time interactions, but the theme is the importance of support and customer success. All right, back to our moderators on how you want to moderate the next or the remaining part of this meeting.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you what is coming up next, Mohammed, but you already answered that with a wonderful slide here. Thank you so much. Good job. Yeah, thank you. And everyone, you can raise your hand. Just go to your in the participants panel, and there's a little button to raise your hand, or you can also type it into the Q&A that I have open. So that's the chance now to chat with Mohammed. And I also have, while you're formalizing your questions, I also have a poll for you to do before you leave. It's about if you're going to use all that what Mohammed was presenting here, or if you're already doing that. So please participate the poll. And let me know if you have any specific questions and raise your hand. You can also read out your support ticket now to Mohammed.
Yeah, if you want to escalate a support ticket, now is a good time.
It's now a good time, absolutely. Now or never. Yeah. Good. Any last words from you, Mohammed, or?
As I said, the industry is constantly changing, and SAP is adapting, trying to adapt to this change as quickly as possible. Stay up to date on our activities. I write blogs. I've been a bit lazy due to the pandemic, but typically I write a blog about once a quarter. My boss, Andreas Heckman, is pretty active on social media as well. SAP overall is more active on social media than any other company that I have worked for. So if you're in the support space, stay up to date as much as you can on our innovations, because we have a roadmap till the end of 2023 on when we plan to deliver. Now, I cannot share everything with you here, but all I can tell you, we have some really exciting new technologies and new innovations that we're going to be releasing to our customers. We're going to be adding more interaction channels. You know, we're going to be building better and faster search engines, you know, leveraging the technology of Elasticsearch. So my profile or my community profile is somewhere in this presentation or in the chat. You can follow me in the communities. You can follow me on LinkedIn. And please provide us feedback. So I'm not asking you just to read, but be active, especially in the communities. Provide us some feedback. Provide us some criticism on where we're coming short, because we want to learn on how to best support our customers.
And believe it or not, we have one question now from Andrew Griffin, who's asking, how does this relate to Service Cloud, Sales Cloud in the C/4HANA suite, which have their own incident creation tool inbuilt?
Okay. Thank you for this question. I was expecting it. So, you know, SAP, like other companies in the market, has been on an acquisition trend for the past few years. And yes, one of the most common complaints I get is your customer experience is not harmonized. I could be using product A and have a certain support experience and a certain portal that I go to, and I could be using product B and the support experience is different. I totally admit that. It's not a secret. And we have a massive global project running within SAP right now called Harmonized Customer Experience, or Harmonized Customer Service Management, which is to bring everybody on one common platform, one common portal, and one consistent harmonized experience. So whether you're using C/4HANA or using Concur or using SuccessFactors or your traditional, you know, SAP products, your experience should be exactly the same. Everything I showed you today should be available to you. So I'll admit, Support Assistant is not available for each and every product. It's available for SuccessFactors. It's available for traditional SAP products. It'll be available for Ariba soon. But our goal is to really move away from those discrepancies and provide one harmonized experience to everybody. And we hope to do, I mean, in terms of timelines, we hope to do this within the next 12 months. We have a lot of customers, we have a lot of products that already moved to the harmonized experience, but not all of them have. So thanks for your question.
Okay, thank you for the answer. And we have one more answer from Maria Antonetta from Mexico, and she's asking, could be integrated with Qualtrics to measure the perception on our support services? Question mark.
Yeah, I'm loving those questions. In the October timeframe, literally next month, we're running a pilot, and it's going to be for certain products. It's going to be for some SuccessFactor products, and it's going to be for some business intelligence products. As you're navigating the incident on our support portal, you're going to start seeing some pop-ups. And the use case we're using with Qualtrics is when there's a change of support engineer, because this is a pain point for customers in any company I work for. When we do follow the sun, when we change from one region to the other, or even we change from one support engineer to the other, the experience is far from optimal. So we're using Qualtrics to just a small, minimal touch survey. It's a thumbs up, thumbs down, asking you, how was the transfer? Are you happy with the transfer? Did all the information carry over? Or did the new support engineer ask you, so what's going on? So that is our initial attempt at leveraging Qualtrics. And part of our roadmap is we're going to use Qualtrics throughout the incident lifecycle, even before the incident is created. We want to use Qualtrics when you're using Support Assistant and try to get a customer sentiment, or trying to get your sentiment right then and there. We want to move away from what the industry is doing, which is wait till the ticket is closed, send a survey, hopefully wait for the survey to come back to you, So we are definitely leveraging and will be leveraging Qualtrics much more. And as I said, if you use success factors or you use business analytics, you might start seeing that Qualtrics pop-up window during the month of starting in October.
Thank you.
These are good questions.
Yeah, keep on going. We have a couple more minutes to answer questions. So now you're in the mood. Okay, and don't forget next week call, as Mohammed also wrote it down here. We have a great presentation on the importance of support, and I'm going to host it again. So I will be the support pro.
Yeah, yes, you will. All right.
Okay, so it looks like everyone is satisfied with all your answers, and the poll is still open. We have a couple more people who could answer before you leave. And yeah, otherwise, I would like to say thank you, Mohammed, for that informative session and engaging so much with the audience. The session was recorded, and we're going to post it in our community channel on YouTube soon. And yeah, you can follow other community calls. We have every week very interesting topics that you can find under events in the SAP community. Not only about SAP support, we have other topics to cover too. And yeah, thank you very much, Mohammed, and we stay in contact.
Thank you very much, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and hope to talk to you again soon in the near future.
See you next week.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks, everybody.